Who am I?
I wasn't born a thief. I wasn't born to manipulate. I wasn't born, saying I'm going to be a part of destroying someone's life. When I was 16, I didn't aspire to be the best crackhead on the north side of Minneapolis. That's not who I was born to be. There's no way that I could have possibly been in the situation that I was in, being an addict, had I not became it. I mean, there is a definite lifestyle that you have to walk in, and you better walk into it because everybody knows it and they don't like you if you're being fake. And of course, I digress back to my childhood. I want to be liked, I want to fit in, I want to be accepted, and I want to be good at what it is that I'm doing. After a while, I got desensitized to my kids running behind me, saying, Mommy, where are you going? Why are you leaving us? You just came home, but I can't hear you. I am who I am right now, and I'm gonna be this. I became so desensitized to that person because that's not who I was. I wasn't a mother. I was an addict, I was a thief, I was a liar, I was a crackhead, and I was a master manipulator. And that person who parented you doesn't exist. So I became desensitized to them chasing me and running me down and wanting me to stay home just so that they could have some time with their mother. I became desensitized to my children, as I said earlier, fighting for their lives while they're inside of my stomach, because that's not who I am. I'm a dope fiend, and I'm good at it.
Eventually, the lies catch up to us. Our true selves begin to stir our hearts. Hope demands to be heard.
I have no hope when all I think is that I'm a crackhead and I'm a thief and I'm a liar and I'm never going to amount to anything and I could never be as good as Ray Charles, and what's the point of even trying? And you've went too far. There's no turning back. There's no hope in that language. There's no hope in that faith. There's no hope in that belief. No matter how painful and hurtful it is, there comes a time in your life where you have to make a decision. Is this who you want to be for the rest of your life? Or do you want something greater?
Our hearts know the answer. Yes, we want something greater. We are something greater. So how do we get it? So how do we become it? Number 1, figure out when you lost yourself. A devastating number of our identities began to take shape when we were very young, and something very precious was taken from us.
At the age of 8, my mom walked me down to the police station. It's called the Fillmore Police Station. And she left me. I was placed in juvenile child protection and put off into a group home. And the group home is just the worst place you could ever think about being. When you're young and you're by yourself, you know what I'm saying? That's the worst place you can think about starting over something.
That little girl thing slipped away from me at the first creepy touch at 5 years old. Your mind shifts into a whole different place. You become something outside of yourself. Your desire is to be that little girl and play with dolls and play hopscotch and have friends and, go to the park and play on the swings. But that is snatched away from you. You are ripped away from that feeling. You're no longer able to be that. You become something else. It's not grown, it's not a kid, it's just something else.
Other times, the fade was slower. As we got older and everyone around us seemed to know who they were and where they fit, we realized we didn't know either of those things.
I didn't need nobody to help me. I'm gonna do it myself. When I was in about 6th grade, my life began to turn towards gang banging and the street life and the drugs. And I started smoking when I was about 10. Started drinking and just hanging out with the wrong crowd, just being out with the neighborhood guys, and it turned out to be neighborhood gang related.
How's that work for you?
Yeah, that worked for you.
Kept me in jail.
Because I had such a strong will, strong personality, I had a lot of anger and animosity, no peace whatsoever. I chose very rebellious friends and hung out in very rebellious crowds, gangs, and people that love to fight and do the things that I did. I was sold, I was human trafficked. And just in that lifestyle, the more I was abused, the more abuse, I gave. It was nothing for me to put a gun to someone's head and rob them. I was very cold, I was very hard, and I had some cold walls up. I know that I deserve to be on death row.
Even if we weren't asking the question,
I didn't need nobody else. I could do it myself. Whatever I wanted, I felt like I could get it myself. Even if I had to work 2 or 3 jobs, or if I had to sell drugs, whatever I had to do, I did it to get it. But I just, felt like I could do it myself. I didn't need my father. He didn't want to be my father, so I had the attitude that I didn't need nobody.
we were definitely looking for the answer. Who am I?
Through my addiction and through my childhood, I never had an identity. I tried to find my identity in men and in drug addiction, and I tried to be whoever I thought people wanted me to be, and I can say at 40 years old, I didn't even know what my favorite color was.
Number 2, ask hard questions. How did we get here? How did the labels we currently identify with become us? Start here. Who was I trying to impress?
That's when scandals start to come in, when you start pulling pistols, when you start robbing your dope connection. Because I robbed all of them. I had no shame. And you do all this with a child in the house. That's the shameful part about it. At any given time, my daughter could have got shot, molested, or anything, because I kind of had an open house.
I had terrible self-esteem. So I was always slightly overweight as a teenager, and I never had a boyfriend in high school. My prom date was my best friend's boyfriend, who kind of took me as a pity date. So when I would meet people who would tell me I was beautiful or attractive or show me any kind of attention, I was like a sponge. I was trying to validate myself through relationships with men, and sometimes not even relationships, just physical relationships would be enough for me because I was craving intimacy, and I would confuse that for sex.
Or here, who was I trying to be like? When we only see the outside, what looks and seems perfect, it's easy to decide we don't measure up.
I had a little bit of clean time in this time, and I tried to go to church and got pregnant. I had 2 other children, beautiful children, and did good for a little while. I could go to church and stay clean for short periods of time, but I never really could get how to be a church lady. And I really tried. I tried to speak the language and I tried to be like church ladies, but I had such a hard time.
I found drugs. I found ways to supply my drug habit through forgery, theft, stealing. At one point, I'd even stolen my children's money from piggy bank.
Number 3, choose a new identity. Once the lie catches up to us,
I tried everything else. I tried different religions. You know, I tried men, I tried codependency, I tried drugs, I tried everything, you know, and it's all a facade. It's all temporary, materialism, you know, none of those things truly make us happy.
and our true selves begin to stir our hearts.
It was the first time in 28 years that I wasn't naked in front of 10 guys every day. I didn't have to be critiqued and sized up. Men trying to decide, was I worth what they were paying me? All those feelings of inadequacy or no, I was starting to get modest, and that felt really good.
We need to make a choice, and we must believe we are worth choosing.
Well, I realized that I've been doing it my way all my life. And I realized that my way has kept me in jail or kept my marriage on rocks. So I realized that I needed to do it another way. I needed. And when that scripture spoke to me, it says, he that listens to my word and obey my word is a wise person. And it's like building your house on solid rock. That just opened my eyes to that. And if I do this, then, it'll be all right.
Or your life is more worse than going to jail, going what you got to go through, the humiliation, going to jail, fingerprint, getting body search. That is degrading. For me, it was for a woman, being talked to like you're nothing. You're no more, you're not Miss Richard, you are a number. And that bothered me more so than anything. I have a name, and my name is not a 6-digit number, and knowing that you're worth more than that. You are worth more than that. We all are.
Realize this part takes time.
It started all over, friendship first, and she had to see change in me, She just wasn't gonna come back, So she saw this before me going through treatment programs and stuff, so.
You are the goal.
There was a therapist. She gave me this assignment because I had so much self-hatred. And I remember getting angry during the session and telling her, I don't even know why I'm here. And she's like, what I want you to do, Jennifer, is every day I want you to look in the mirror and I want you to look at yourself and I want you to say, only God defines me. And she said, then I want you to ask God, please, God, define me today. I did what she said. I looked in the mirror and I was even sarcastic about it. And I said, only God defines me. Please define me today. And I didn't think it was going to work. And all of a sudden, my son David, this big kid, he's 23 years old. This is my son that we've had a lot of anger in our relationships. He's been angry with me and ashamed and embarrassed. And he grabs me around the waist And he kisses me on the cheek and he just says, I just want to say, Mom, that you're so beautiful. And I knew that came from God. God was defining me.
Number 4, speak it out.
Me and my kids, that was one time I couldn't sit still. I was never at home. So today I'm at home all the time. I'm working. God gave me a new business. I spend quality time with them. It's just amazing. It's changed, so they can see the change, and they can see that it's more about them than me.
I am a mom to 3 amazing boys, and I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a friend, I'm a part of the church community, I'm a part of the community, I'm an employee. I have all these things, a great neighbor, and all this community that I'm a part of, and that helps to hold me up.
I was coming up for parole. People that I had no clue would write letters. I had a warden of a facility write a letter. Doctors, lawyers, friends, you name it. I mean, I had 20-some letters when I had my first 2 boards. I had maybe 3 or 4 or 5 letters. But these letters came from people of sound mind and sound character, which showed me I had to be doing good and right because they saw good in me.
As we move forward, as we change, the past seems far away. The old self seems unrecognizable.
When I'm thinking about my life so that I can share it with other people, it feels like I'm making it up. It feels like I'm making it up. That's how far removed my old self is from me. It's almost like a different time, a different place, a different life, it's not almost, it is a different space, a different world, a different person.
No question speaks louder. Only our hearts can truly answer. Who am I?